Sinaloa is a northern Mexican state which can often be described as having a reputation. But after visiting Mazatlán, Concordia, and the brilliant Culiacán in 2021, I realised that description was at least partially absolute bullshit. After catapulting myself out of Chihuahua state on the Chepe Express, I'm in the relatively modern city of Los Mochis before heading to Ciudad Obregón in Sonora to give you a brief insight if you've got a day to spare. Not every city in Mexico has Spanish colonial history. A stunning botanical garden, food you might scream at me for having, a rich past of trade and export, and an abandoned sugar mill all contribute to my point that a city doesn't need colonial buildings or abuelita street food to be a viable Mexico destination. Let's take a look around.
Now this might come as a little bit of a shock, a little bit like when expats go to Costco, but this isn't my first time in Los Mochis. Last year I was here very briefly in between the videos I made in Culiacán and Chihuahua. However, as I've touched on in previous videos, I was rather sick at that time with horrendous bronchitis and possibly COVID. I didn't have a test. So as a result, I spent most of the time self-isolating in bed and didn't really get to see much of Los Mochis. So hopefully today we will change that. Let's start off by looking at this teatro. As you can see, it's got a rather modern look, and that very much ties in with the fact that Los Mochis is a relatively young city in comparison to many in Mexico. I'm talking colonial architecture, that sort of thing. It was actually founded only in 1893, so it's only 100 and something years old. So as a result, you have a lot of modern architecture, you have very wide roads. I don't know what that guy's doing, but whatever. And all these, glass panels and metal up there. And over there is the Botanical Garden. Let's go. Remember the city sign in Parral, which had a lot of things on it that kind of represent the city? I guess that's a common thing throughout Mexico. And this one is no exception. So you have the train there. I guess that's the Chepe Express from the last video. You have industry, sugar cane, we'll touch on that in a little bit, camaron. So Sinaloa, I believe, is the largest producer of camarones, shrimp, in Mexico. As we've seen in Culiacán and Mazatlán, there are so many camarones dishes available, and I love them. Hello, Botanical Garden. Surprisingly, it seems to be free, but there is a donation box thing here, so I'm going to be a nice human being and put some coins in. Some of them may be US dollars from when I was in El Paso, but I'm sure they'll appreciate them. So I just broke my cupla boca, but thankfully I'm resourceful. I burnt a hole in it with my lighter and then tied the thing back through again, and it worked a treat. Thanks, Mum. Anyway, there's a nice fountain behind there. Beautiful. And, oh, it looks nice. I must admit, it's one thing I think Sinaloa does well is botanical gardens. There was one in Culiacán as well, and they always seem to be very well looked after and manicured and maintained. Unlike many botanical gardens that I've been to in the past, which generally look like crap, but this one doesn't. So this is Parque Sinaloa, or Parque Benjamin Johnston, or Parque, there's about 1 million names for it, well I think like 2. And Benjamin Johnston actually was one of the people who founded Los Mochis back in 1893 along with Albert Owen. These were guys who, in very simple terms, kind of wanted to set up a modern city in this area and exploit the area for its sugarcane, as we've seen on the Los Mochis sign. And they wanted to set up Los Mochis and Topolobampo on the coast as like a hub for shipping and rail transport exports. The Chepe Express, I think I mentioned in the last video, that used to go all the way to Kansas, I believe, in the US. We've got a helpful map. Jardín Botánico Benjamin Francis Johnston. I keep saying Benjamin Franklin, wasn't he a president? Or did he invent light bulbs? I can't remember. What have we got? French Garden, Royal Palm Avenue Garden, Eastern Star Garden. Oh, Yin Yang. There's always like a Japanese or Chinese thing, isn't there, in these botanical gardens? So in this area was the Johnston Mansion, built in 1902 next to the sugar mill, with a Tuscan-style facade. Oh, Tuscany. I really want to go back to Italy. I'm a bit of an Italy snob, sorry. Sorrento was just my ultimate. It's where I can pretend to be posh. And I was just thinking, where is it? And then I realised I was walking in it, so clearly it's not here anymore. I guess that was the entrance. Not sure what that was, like a big swimming pool bath thing, I guess. You know, exploitation and Mexico, I think, kind of go hand in hand in many ways. Whether you're talking about Spanish conquistadores taking advantage of silver mines in order to fund the Spanish crown, the French, Napoleon, and also the US. You know, exploitation isn't a good thing, but ultimately it's part of history in Mexico everywhere. So many countries have been exploited as a result of colonialism and conquering that it has kind of shaped how countries are today. This is pretty, isn't it? A nice little wooden passageway with the sun kind of flashing through the leaves and brown leaves and flowers on the top. I was just taking a moment to sit down and contemplate, ponder, mull over, and I was thinking that yes, Sinaloa comes with its reputation that we all know about, but at the same time you have places like this that are spectacular. I love trees like that. It's like a petrified tree. I'm sure I've been to a petrified forest before. It makes you think of those old fairy tales that we used to read when we were kids, like, you know, scary witches putting curses on you and cauldrons and old ladies eating children. The thing that I feel like is not here, that's missing, at least I haven't found it yet, is the wide array of colourful different flowers from all over the world that there is in the one in Culiacán. I remember these pretty different flowers that were from like Guatemala and Belize. Ah, there's a little puentito, little bridge. Can I say that, or did I just make up a word? Probably the latter. And you've got this like lake area with a fountain in the middle. Oh look, and the water's coming out of pipes, out of those brick things. Reminds me of like an infinity pool or a fountain at one of those posh hotels in Dubai that I'll never be able to afford. And behind me, or behind here even, there's a gaggle of geese, swans, they're not swans, and ducks and stuff. I don't know if the camera does these flowers justice, but the colour is sensational. It's like an absolute crazy pink magenta, and the sunlight just adds that extra brightness to it. It's like you do an Instagram photo and you turn the saturation up to 100. That's what it's like. In here, there's like a greenhouse thing. It says abierto, but the door is locked. So I'm assuming it's not open today. Oh, hang on. Yes, opens at 4 o'clock. Okay, we've been somewhere extremely pretty. Now it's time to go somewhere, as the Sugar Babes sung once, ugly. So we're not going to Walmart, Carl's Jr., Office Depot, or even Pharmacy Guadalajara. Yes, there are American brands in Mexico, which shouldn't come as a surprise unless you've been living in a box on Mars for your entire life. I just choked on my drink. It's time to get ugly. You can see an abandoned building through there and a train. I don't know if I can get in here, but we'll see. Hi everyone, just a bit of time travel. This is Editing David interjecting from the future in Ciudad Obligón. Just to keep in mind, before this section, I wanted to let you know that I completely messed this section up. You'll see that I'm like, oh, what's this building? But then when I got home from filming, guess what? I remembered that a year ago when I was in Los Mochis, I actually researched this building and I had a bookmark saved on my laptop. Bloody brilliant! So I'm going to leave it in how it was, and I'll put some info over the screen for you. There'll also be a useful link down in the description below. Right, back to the video. It just looks like some sort of industrial factory place. There's a chimney up there. There is no way in. Well, there is, but I think there's a security guy and I can't go in. No, nothing there. So, you know, maybe I'll get some drone shots. Oh, the cops. Okay, the gate is not locked, but a car drove in and the security guy has now gone, so I might just wait a little bit. There's his seat over there. I don't know if you can see it. But I might wait until, see if he comes back. Okay, he hasn't come back, so I'm going to sneak in, see what happens. Yep, no sign of him. Oh, I can hear his radio. So my trespassing didn't last very long. I must admit, I waited for a couple of seconds. He ran around the corner and was like, get out. I was going to say, you know, I do get some comments sometimes, like people are like, oh, why would you go to an ugly abandoned building? Admittedly, these are probably first time viewers who see a travel channel and expect to see everything beautiful and utopia. Oh, I think I just trod in shit. Life is not utopia. There's shit on the floor. But, you know, after 6 years, you know, I'm kind of bored of pretty locations. Maybe in the beginning, absolutely, but not now. An abandoned building is equally an indicator of history in a place in relation to industry than, you know, colonial architecture is an indicator of architectural history. You know what I mean? I'm back at the very modern looking Teatro. You know, compare this to the Teatro in, say, Guanajuato or something, you know, you don't have reflective surfaces like this. We're going to Centro. So I've come to Centro and I'm in Plaza September the 27th, 27. And I've got to say, I'm shocked because I'm like, is this deja vu or have I been here before? It's definitely the latter because I did stay just down the road last time I was here, but the difference is astronomical. I mean, yeah, that fountain still has no water in it, but in other respects, there's actually life here now. Last year when I was here, it was, I think, July 2021, obviously pandemic, things were very different, and this almost felt like a kind of zombie apocalypse world. And I thought, Los Mochis is a bit shit, but actually, it's brilliant. Oh, wind, pigeons. Now, as we saw in Cordoba and Chihuahua, on the kiosco over there, you've got a lot of notices in relation to the femicide, I guess, march protest that happened, I think, March the 8th throughout Mexico, and a lot of, you know, kioscos and buildings as well, government buildings have been like daubed with graffiti and posters and notices like that detailing women who have been victims of sexual assault and femicide. It's something that, you know, as a man, it sounds terrible for me to talk about because, you know, I'm not a woman, I don't experience the same issues. And especially when it comes to things like safety, I've been thinking a lot about that lately because I talk about safety and the fact that, you know, oh, you know, it's about your own common sense and everything. But when it comes to being a man, I don't have to think about the things that women do, and there's no way that I could imagine what that must be like. And in the UK, there's been a lot of coverage in the last couple of years after a woman was raped and murdered by a policeman in London. So it's something that we don't like to talk about, but we should talk about it because it happens, unfortunately. Yeah. Oh, almost fell off his bike. More modern looking buildings. I mean, it's got a bit of kind of older style feel, but you can tell that it's much more up to date, if you know what I mean. I wouldn't mind doing a 4K walk around video here. There's a lot of activity going on. A bit like Culiacán, including the cops. That's like Aniversario of Seguridad Privada. Is it like a private security service that also have a band? Guys on the back with clarinets. I used to play the clarinet. Awesome. Pointless retail moment of the day. I always notice with Beware of the Dog, my favourite clothing shop in Mexico, by the way, because it's very affordable and reasonable quality. They have like the women's one and then the man's one over there. Hey man, how's it going? I've just bumped into someone from YouTube and Instagram. You're now in the video. So Eric is an online English teacher and traveller person like me. See, I'm not the only complete nutcase in the world, but the difference is he travels around on his motorbike. So he's just driven down from Hermosillo in Sonora. I was going to go up to Memorial Hill, but I realised it's like 5:30 p.m. and I've left it a bit late in the day. So we're going to have some food at somewhere that someone recommended to me. Right, I said about a 4K walk around. Let's incorporate one into the video. I'm into follow mode. I'm looking for this food place. I think it's somewhere on the same side of the road as Electra up there. And I don't think it's like a little abuelita, Doña Alejandrina family kind of place. I think it's more of a chain. I've seen that there are other places in Los Mochis that it exists in. I can see it ahead of me. Okay, that was a quick 4K walk around. Right people, I've had a cigarette to pluck up the courage to go in. I might need a shot of tequila as well, or mezcal. I really hope this is not 2022's version of Pizza de los Arcos. Wish me luck. Los Nachos. Oh god, I really hope this isn't one of those crap recommendations. It kind of looks like a nacho McDonald's place. Oh god, I bet there's copyrighted music as well. I honestly don't know what sort of place I'm in. It kind of reminds me of like a McDonald's that single mums take their screaming children to in the UK. But I've got nachos mediano. I can't believe I'm eating nachos in Mexico because in my head it's like Tex-Mex. Let's have a look. Oh my god. Yum. See, look at me. I'm satisfying your recommendations. This is what happens. I've been reliably informed that these nachos are not any old nacho. It's like a specific recipe for Los Mochis. That could be bollocks, but we will see. So in terms of fast food, it was given to me in about 10 seconds. So clearly it's, you know, it's mass-produced fast food place, which, you know, actually is a little bit different because, you know, we go to a lot of places that are, you know, authentic family-run places. It makes a nice change actually to come to somewhere like this. Okay, we've got nachos. They've got, I think, like queso fresca on it, and something else. Okay. I must admit, I've had better food in Mexico, but the good thing is this is not Pizza de los Arcos, the sequel. Forget everything I said, because that was fucking elite. It was brilliant. You know, I'm a cheap date, right? Screaming children, by the way. Yeah, you won't find me in a Michelin star restaurant. Just take me to this dump and I'm quite happy. Brilliant. Red Plus again. If you're from Los Mochis, or just Mexican in general, you're probably cracking up. Why would some English guy go to Los Nachos? What I just did, Hans, and it was good. See, you don't always have to go to these abuelita restaurants, like run by an abuelita, not when you eat an abuelita. Dios mío. As I said, it's quite late. Well, it's not really, but I'm tired. I want to go home. I've still got this ginormous manzanita. Oh, which way do I go? This way. Brilliant. Yeah, so Los Mochis, what do you think? Yeah, it's not my most favourite ever city in Mexico, of course, but you know, it's good to finally come here and good to film here. At least, you know, a little bit. Obviously I didn't do everything because I'm lazy, but yeah, that's life. Expat gringos be like, but where's the colonial beauty? Is this the most beautiful city in Mexico? Stick a fork in 2018 already. It's been done to death. Right, I'm going home. So what are my final thoughts about Los Mochis, or Sinaloa actually? So this is my only video from Sinaloa this year. If you want to check out videos from Culiacán, Mazatlán, Concordia, I did those ones last year, so check them out in the 2021 playlist on my channel. Last year I came to Sinaloa with a certain apprehension because of its reputation and everything you hear about it. But I quickly learned that I was an idiot and Well, you know that. And actually, you've just got to take those things with a pinch of salt and experience the place, be there, to make your own judgment. And I never felt like Sinaloa was anything scary or frightening. Yes, there were hookers on the street in the daytime, but you know, where doesn't that happen? You know, and this time I've come here without that apprehension. I see it as just another Mexican state, and that's it really. So what I'm saying is, don't discount Sinaloa just because of that name. You know, we hear Sinaloa and immediately we associate it with kidnapping, murder, cartels and acid baths. Thanks for watching. Next time, as I hinted at earlier, we're going to Sonora in the next video. Ciudad Obregón. If you thought Chihuahua was hot, you ain't seen nothing yet, Hans. I'm probably gonna die. Brilliant. Catch you later.